All this fanciness. Are you taking the traction control off? Are you taking traction control off?
I'm turning it all off.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. All right. Hey, welcome, welcome. It's Riding with a AMAP, and Skinner's behind me. We are having a great time today. Out here on the gravel / dirt road. And I hope I'm still recording. Yep, I'm still recording on the front. I hope I'm still recording on the back. With these GoPros, you never know. My good old drift is still up front, though. Squeak! What is doing that? Okay. Go right there by that crack. Just and then listen.
Okay.
My bike's it sounded funny. Listen to this. Did you hear that? Is that it's my front tire or shock or something? Are you mechanically inclined very good or?
Not that much. It looks to me like it's this side.
But it's when my everything compresses, it squeaks.
Right.
And I've never had that before. I don't know if it's these or it actually sounds like it's coming off the right side. I don't know if it's my shock, but it's definitely like a poof of air, like squish, squeak.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Okay, no worries.
I'm not mechanically inclined.
Okay, no problem. I just thought this is the first time it's ever done it before, and I just changed the tire this morning, so.
YouTube would be my friend.
Yeah,
check it out there.
Definitely. And then I've got the squeaky bike. Katara's have developed a cold or something. Every time I hit a bump, it squeaks, and I don't know what she's doing. So bizarre. I had Skinner check it out for me. He could hear it too. It's loud enough that when he's sitting in one spot, he could hear it. Squeaky, squeaky. Woohoo! But hey, as soon as I got out of school, you know, unique profession a teacher is, because we get a chance to end and begin every year. And at the end of this school year, we got some time off and was able to head out, and we took that pop-up camper, well, pop-up, I don't know, fold-up is a better estimate, my fold-up camper that I built, and we took it to Florida. And down in Florida, it was awesome. We stayed for like $30 a night in state park campgrounds. And my wife demanded it had AC, and I'm really glad that I put it in because it was really hot and really humid. But they had the AC, so we were fine. Sleeping, and one of the parts of the day was just really, really... Oh, gotta check that out. Does this go very far? Woo!
That's why I need a smaller bike.
On a dry day.
Yeah. Or a smaller bike.
Yeah, but on a dry day, I mean, it goes on. I don't know how far it goes. A lot of rhododendrons across, but
Okay.
but it's really wet right now.
Right.
But yeah, for future reference maybe. I've never noticed that one before.
I haven't either. That's, we're up here often enough.
Yeah. Oh, okay, back to the story. So we stayed in Fort McAllister in Georgia with the horseflies, and it was awesome. Horseflies were not fun, but at least you hear them coming and see them coming, and you can actually swat them with your hand. They're so big. But that was a really nice place to stay. They had updated all their facilities, and it was a really hot sweat box, but in the wintertime it'd be great. But the campground was gorgeous, and unfortunately you can't go swimming, but it was on this river that leads to the ocean. And it's an old Civil War fort. It's really cool. And we stayed there one night, and then we drove the rest of the way down to the state park of Jonathan Dickinson State Park in Florida, about a couple hours or hour and a half or so north of Fort Lauderdale. And we were on the Atlantic side, so we went to Hoe Beach, and we went to Ocean Reef Beach, and then we also went kayaking down the river in the park. And they had it's like the mountain biking capital of Florida. It was really cool, and I didn't take my mountain bike, but they had some like almost like BMX type or motocross type trails. It was really cool, and I never went on it. I don't know. I wanted to, but it was about 5 miles from where we were camping, and I would have had to pack up and leave the family, and I didn't want to do that, so I didn't go. But it would have been cool. It's definitely something that I wouldn't mind going back to do if I wanted, if I was in shape. My first thought was, why can't I take my motorcycle on this? This would be awesome. But so we stayed there for 3 nights, and then we had a really fun thing. We went to, I took sunrise pictures on the Atlantic, and then we drove all the way west and stayed on the west side of Florida at Fort DeSoto State Park. And then I didn't really realize it at the time, but I've got sunset on the east side of Florida. I mean, sunrise on the east side of Florida, you know what I mean? And then the sunset on the west side of Florida on the same day. So it was awesome. And woohoo! And then we stayed there for 3 days, and that was probably the most beautiful state park I have ever been to. The campground, I mean, you cannot pick a bad campsite. It was incredible. And I was kind of bummed out that I didn't get there were always, of course, the water side was always like reserved, so they had all these waterside campsites, like ocean side. And then, but I didn't get in on that one, but it was fine because it turns out those are where more of the bugs are. I forgot to tell you, at Jonathan Dickinson State Park, they had no-see-ums. And if you don't know what those are, you are lucky. They are awful. They're like, the park ranger described them as teeth with wings. The good news is when they're not like a mosquito bite to where it's like a mosquito bite bites you and then you have to itch for like a week, right? Well, the no-see-ums bite you, but then that's the only time you really notice them is on the bite. So it's kind of like a horsefly, but they're just so tiny you can't even see them. They're crazy. I could see them, but they were just, but you don't see them until they bite you. So, and that's why they're called no-see-ums, but awful. And then at Fort DeSoto campground, it wasn't really bad at all. We didn't really need bug spray. There was some, mosquitoes, typical kind of outdoorsy stuff, but outside of that, it was great. But that was a fun park. We went to the beach and on the Gulf, and I've decided that I would much rather go to the ocean side on the Atlantic rather than to the Gulf. The Gulf is like a big lake, big salty lake, and I would much rather be with the waves and stuff like that. But we had a great time. and we only paid $120 for a whole week of, at least in lodging. I spent more than that in fuel, but great times. And the only time we spent money is when we were traveling. So we brought all our food with us, and you know, when you're camping, and we had microwave dinner type stuff, and we had a great time. Just awesome. My camper did have some issues, though. I forgot about the static nature of water. So my roof is shaped like this, right? It's got an angle to it. So when it rains, I was expecting the water to just go and run off, right? But no, it like sticks. It sticks to the thing and comes around. So it goes around and down. And that was bad because it went down the wall, and then it went in the fold, and it flooded our camper. I mean, not flooded. It got things wet, and you know, luckily we were able to take care of it all. But and I found, you know, I just put a tarp up like on the outside of the wall to fix it. But anyway, thanks for riding with me.